Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Victor, and yes, I'm the communications lead at WebBoss, and I'll be hosting this webinar. Good evening, Josh. How are you? Um, Before we continue, we're still waiting for Akin. I don't know. I'm trying to reach out to him right now, and okay, he said he'll be joining us very soon. So yeah, so a quick introduction on Beyond the Code. So my boss and I were talking about, this life coding, tech, design, and stuff like that. And I was like, the focus has been too much on tech and stuff. Can we just talk about the outside life beyond tech? Can you hear me? Please, if you are hearing, please comment on the chat box. Let me confirm that you guys can hear me. Yeah. Let me confirm that you guys can hear me. Okay, so then we have to move on. So while we were talking, he mentioned that we should shift our content to something that is outside the nitty-gritty of work, of the tech space, something outside it, something that people are facing that is outside life, but people are not really talking about. So that's where the Beyond the Code theme was formed from. And well, here we are. So the first one was getting a job because we discovered that many people want to enter tech, and there's been many initiatives for people to enter tech, special ones for females, special ones for male, and stuff like that. And thinking, okay, people are having difficulty joining. They are not having difficulty joining tech again because there's a lot of courses and stuff. But getting job, because that's the main aim. Everybody that came to tech maybe wants to eat, from the money, and the year they pay developers in dollars, they pay designers in dollars, product managers and stuff like that. So that's why 90% go into tech. And so we want to discuss about getting that first job. I think that's one of the most difficult thing. At least not gig in this sense, but a job, a good startup dream job that everybody wants to get. That's what we're discussing right now. So yeah, Akin is already here with us, and they'll be introducing themselves. First, we have Alison with us. Alison is UX designer at TeamApt. We have Hafsah with us. Hafsah is front-end engineer, and we have Akin. Akin is a brand designer at Canta. So I'll be bringing them up one by one to introduce themselves. So, Alison, you go first.
Hi everyone. Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can't hear you.
Okay. Hi. Good evening. Happy weekend. My name is Alison Eyo. I'm a UX designer with TeamApt. I design user experience and user interface for TeamApt. It's a fintech product that's creating financial services for the underserved in Africa, basically. So yeah, that's what I do.
Alison, really appreciate you coming. Okay, so right now I'll be putting up Afsa to introduce herself. Yeah, lucky us, we have two ladies here. Hello, Afsa.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Hi, I'm Hafsah, front-end engineer at FourthCanvas, where FourthCanvas is a branch and web agency where we design and create brand biz we're basically focused on tech communities in Africa and globally, basically. So I act as a front-end engineer there. I'm a front-end engineer there, and um, yeah, nice to be here.
Yeah, really nice to have you. Really glad you could make it. So, bringing up Akin to introduce himself too.
Um, Hi everyone. I
Good
am
evening.
Akin Please, can you hear me very well? So, yeah, I'm Akin Theodox, and I'm a brand designer. I help people see beyond themselves, in quotes, brands, value. And I've helped a few startups with their identity, and my highlight has been helping a startup, with their identity and raising about 250,000 in their angel round. So, yeah, it's nice to be here.
Okay, it's really nice to have you, Theodox. Um, well, since we have superstars with us here, so now we'll get straight to it. And well, I'll be throwing this question straight to the three of them. So in the order, Alison will answer first, then Hafsah, then Akin, so that it can be orderly. Okay, so now to the first question. We know the theme, getting your first job in tech. Come on now, like anything first, maybe writing your first article or maybe shooting your first video. We know how difficult it can be, especially with the imposter syndrome that comes with it, and even the difficulty of the fact that you don't have experience. You understand? So we know how difficult that can be right now in this age, and with the age of where many startups are. Startups are really careful in taking, entry level candidate and stuff. So we know how tricky that process can be. We know nobody's story is the same, and I think curating three people's different story together can give people direction. So the first question we'll be asking, well, Alison, go first, is describe your first job in tech. How did you get it? Like, it's people of different background. There's a way people got into tech different. Some people they put them into it, some people they had to go all out by themselves. You took courses. Some people were even lucky they had money and take paid course. So how was the journey for you? How did you get that first job? How was the process?
Okay, so my story is very complicated because my first job was not a job in code. It was just me trying stuff out. In fact, I started as a graphic designer, funny enough, and yeah, it wasn't. No, you can't. I'm in a place where I can't turn my camera on right now. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm in a public place.
okay, no
Yeah.
problem.
So it's it's okay. Let me just start from the UI design part of it. So it started at HNG internship. So it wasn't exactly a job, but that in fact today that has been my most challenging commitment. It changed, basically changed my life. It gave me a different perspective to life as a person and as a designer as well. So it wasn't a job, but that's one that I really like to highlight. After HNG, I've gotten my fair share of shitty job offers that I'd rather not talk about. But I just want to say it's not easy at all. In fact, getting the job is one thing, keeping the job is another thing. So it is important that you are ready to take on whatever responsibility you'll be offered, which is why I strongly advise against applying for jobs that you know inside that you can't keep up with. Somebody like myself, I'm the learn on the job kind of person. So I like to take things that are bigger than me in quotes and then just learn with it. But there's some circumstances where you can't struggle through. You need to be good enough to be anywhere. So it's getting the job is one thing, but then messing up on the job is bad because you don't know where else you'll be. That's just that messing up on your first job can also affect every other commitment you get moving forward. So just being ready is like the most important thing I like to highlight there.
Okay. Sorry, quick. Um, should I say intruding? The job you said it wasn't a job exactly, but at least you could put it in your CV on your
Yes, yes.
portfolio.
HND is in fact top of my CV, matter of fact. It wasn't paid. I didn't go to the office or anything, but it's just top of mind. It's genesis of my career, and it has a spot in my success story. Basically, I can't live without.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so moving to Afsa. Yeah, what's your story? What's the first job? How did you get it? What was the process like?
Okay. So the first job I got wasn't a job per se. Yeah, it's basically like a gig. A friend who had been seeing my work, who had been showing my work, had saw an offer and basically recommended me to the person. So yeah, and I got on it, we did the work, and that was actually the first time I knew I was able to do this front end stuff. Like, I think I'll be able to continue on this route. So yeah, so basically the first job for me, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's so everybody's job is not wasn't really a job.
It's not, yeah, well,
That's
now
very
when you call it job, or are you talking about like, formal job per se?
sorry, we didn't get that. Guess your
Well,
network is
oh shit.
uh, yeah, what you
Oh,
said
okay,
earlier,
can
we
you
didn't
hear me
get what
now?
you said.
Okay, can you
Yeah, I
hear me
think it's
now?
better now.
All right. So unless you meant an actual first job in, a professional office, but I'm just talking of a job in a general way. Yeah.
Okay. Well, can we hear the story of the job and the specific names?
All right. Okay. Okay. Let's see. My first job. How did I get? Okay. I saw a post. A friend shared a post, but then for the company, the person posted it on Twitter. So my friend forwarded it to my WhatsApp. I saw the requirements. I was like, I don't have all this, so I'm not going to apply. Obviously, it's just too much and something. I think out of like 5 things, I just need to. So rather than applying, I said I'm just not ready for any rejection mail at that moment because I just finished an internship. For real, like I just finished an internship and I wanted to rest, like just to rest from everything. But he was like, just apply, even if you get a rejection mail, you're already expecting it, so no big deal. And I applied, yeah, I applied, and well, I actually got a rejection mail. I got a
Woo!
rejection mail from them, and I was like, okay, I was expecting it, so I sent them a message like, thanks for responding to me. I appreciate. Then the next day, someone from the team called me and asked if I was like they had to check my portfolio again and saw that I actually had good projects there and if I was available for an interview. Yeah, and yeah, we did the interview and I got in. Yeah,
Wow, that's a funny story. I've never seen
honestly,
someone
yeah.
actually get the rejection and get the job later. Wow.
Well,
That
yeah, but yeah, actually, if there was anything I would learn from that, because you actually need to put your best projects at the top, not just just not arrange them in any kind of way. At least the ones you have more confidence in, you put them at the top of your portfolio and maybe because most times people don't have time to go through everything. They may just see the first one and be like, this person is not fit or something like that. So yeah.
well, that's the story is nice. I hope it happens to one of our viewers one day. You know what I mean? Getting rejection is like canceling that company that you guys cancelled me. I'm canceling you guys to them. Wow, that's nice. So yeah,
Well,
actually going up next. What was your first job like? How did you get it?
Um, all right. So I'm part of the few lucky ones, if you'd say. Like
Wow.
I I started my whole career at a studio as an intern. So I got a promotion from being an intern to being a junior designer to being an assistant art director to being an art director. So I already
Wow.
moved from past the entry level when. So I spent about a year and some months in the studio And when I was leaving, I wasn't leaving as a novice again because the studio gave me the opportunity to work on big projects to a very good extent. I mean, big project in the sense of working with maybe the Oni of Ife, and there are some just and doing some political and government work, right? So they were good for the portfolio at that point. So when I was leaving, trust me, I didn't have any, what would I call it now? Any plan, nor do I have any where I was going. But I just like wanted to leave the studio. Like, there were issues actually. So when I left the studio, it was more of I'm leaving. Let me freelance. I mean, in design you can always freelance. In tech generally you can always freelance. So I said, let me
Yeah.
freelance. And just about 2 months after, someone saw my design on Twitter, right? Which is one of the advice I would give anyone who is a designer. Post on Twitter when you are looking for a job. Just don't post because you are looking for a job. Post because you need to get your work out there, right? And that was what I was doing. I was not in a job, but I needed something. I need to be doing something. I need to keep my design skills up. So every every month, I had this challenge of designing a poster every month, and someone saw the design and came to my DM and it was like, "Yo, I'm the CEO of this and this and this. It's a music company in Lagos." And they were like, "I love your layout a lot. I love the way you used everything minimally." I'm like, okay. I was like, "Yo, have a have a startup and we like it we like to have you on as a designer." And I was like, "All right, no problem." And that was how I got the job. No interview whatsoever, nothing. It was just you come and start. And I did start. So I spent 9 months or so there, 9 or 10 months before I left also. But that was my first job per se. So let me say my studio time was my learning time, right? But my first job per se was that. So it was quite different. Yeah.
Wow, that's some story you guys have here. Like we have the person that didn't start directly; it was not sort of a job. Then we have the really funny one, the from rejection mail to an onboarding mail. That's I've never had that story for my life. And there's the lucky one too that started quite nicely. The growth was kind of steady. Started from from the should I say scratch. Then it was step by step, but he got the main job. So, well, you see that we have nice panelists and the story is getting interesting. I'm very, very interested. So, well, for the next questions, we're quite creative, but I want it to be as form of conversation as possible. So we don't make it too rigid. And we can know the in-depth and people can learn. And it will be wrong for you as a viewer to take their stories like just like that. You have to filter it through your own story, through your own background, so you don't take it and in hook, line, and sinker like that. So we'll be moving on to the next question. And okay, to be we see that quite it was different journey that led to your first job. So it will be hard for me to drop the same question all around. But for everybody, how what was that process? What did you do that led to you getting that job? Whether it was the intentional ones of Hafsah or the one where the employer just saw your portfolio online. What processes did you make, you know, to get you that first job? Oh, let's go with Akin first.
All right. So as I said earlier, that one of the best things you could do for yourself if you are looking uh, to get hired is having an having your works online, have an online portfolio. Because even when I had gotten my first second job or whatever, right? Wait, did I say second? Well, even after my first job, I had scenarios where people just come to my DM and they are like, I mean, these people don't chat you up at first. They just say, "Oh, yeah, someone said you're a designer, and I already checked through your portfolio." I mean, my portfolio is the Behance link on my bio, right? And they just say, "I've gone through your portfolio. I like what I see," and yeah, that's that. And even that portfolio is like an outdated one, damn outdated, but it still converts. I mean, there's a place where they can see what you've done before, right? And
Yeah.
what the advice I would just give is you need people to know you before you can get a job. You need to have that visibility, and that's why you post your work. That's why you interact with people online. That's why you build relationships and all, right. And the best jobs you can get are from referrals most times. The less stressful ones are from referrals. So relationship as much as possible, and yeah, build relationship as much as possible, and do good works. Yeah, so that's like one advice I would give. And the process is they see your work, they like it, and it's like it is like that almost everywhere. When they are the one approaching you, they see your work, they like it, and they eat you up, right? So I don't know. I guess that answers the question, right?
Yeah, that does. Thank you very much. Well, you see, Akin has said it. You need visibility for people to actually employ. Nobody employs someone they don't know. They don't know their works. They don't know their potentials because, yeah, it can be this. We know there are frauds probably everywhere, and nobody wants to, bet his company or his what he's building on something he's not sure of. So you have to put yourself out there. People must know you at least. As I said, the less stressful jobs come from referrals. So people must know you. They must be able to vouch for you that okay, this guy can do this thing. I've checked his works. He's the one that did it and stuff like that. So that they can actually give you the job. Okay, so we'll move on to Alison. Your own story, yeah, quite different. What how did you get to know about that first job? How did you get to get it? Yes, that the process, maybe the code mailing, or how did it go? Just give us the gist.
Okay, so the gist, the summary is that I have had my fair share of shitty offers and dark days in this hunting process.
That is a very
So
important
I think
information.
one thing we don't talk about enough is how is this confidence thing at the designer. Okay, first thing, like Akin said, your work needs to be online. You get nobody's going to come to your house and ask you what you're doing. You need to put yourself out there on social media. Portfolio has to be updated. Just put yourself out there because the internet is working. People are looking at you every time that they see you online, and they don't forget. They don't forget. So I can see designers work like today and I need a designer in 6 months. I remember that, oh, I saw this work online like a while ago. I like what I saw. So let me find that person and hook him up. However, that kind of applies when they are the ones reaching out to you. When you are reaching out to people, you need to have a back of mind that I might be good enough, but they just don't know it, or I just didn't get the job. Sometimes not getting the job is not because you're a bad designer. If you do your homework, if you understand principles of design, if you just do good work, and now most obviously getting your first job means you don't have a lot of experience, but you know that I'm at this point I want to be better. I know what I need to do to be better, and you're reaching out to companies they are going to break your heart more than two, three times. And you need to know that, oh, this person said no doesn't mean that I'm going to stop applying or that I'm not good enough for me or design is not my calling. There was this one time, in fact, I think April of last year was a dark one for me. It's not funny, like I mean dark literally. There was this one time I applied for a job at 11:45 p.m. at night. I got rejection
Woo!
mail night. That is, I don't know if it was automated, but I just applied for this job. Maybe like 15 minutes, you already think I'm not a good fit. I think it was a Nigerian company. And like the next week, I got like, I woke up to like three rejection mails. Like I woke up and I took my phone and
Oh,
seen sorry, we've gone through your application, but we'll not be going forward with it at this point. It just shattered me for like, in fact, for like a
Wow.
whole 2 months, I was not applying for anything again. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not going to be
Like
freelancing.
this is
I'm
the
not even
end.
going to for this place. But then you just need to know that if now you need to have honest, more experienced people by you, because there are many designers that I cannot not talk about. There are senior designers that I can, they're not like available every time, but I just know that if I go to them, I will get honest feedback. I need to have those people. They don't have to be mentors like the actual world. You just need to be friendly with them and know that if I go to this person will tell me the truth. So take your designs to them, take your resume to them, your cover letters to them. Just just know that if shoot your shot, one door closes, another one's going to be open. Just don't give up. Just keep trying, and one day it's going to happen.
Whew. Okay. Now that's 15 minutes rejection mail. God. Wow. Wow. That's new. I don't think I've heard or seen anything like that before. So Alison, thank you. You see how different the story has been. I mean, Alison got this. Akin was able to get a drop through his work outside, and Alison had to push quite a lot of times. Like, with the rejection, we even had to take a break. Like, okay, I don't think design is my way and stuff like that. And wow, I can't imagine the feeling at that moment when you want to sleep and you have to sleep with the rejection email and you have to wake up to another one. But you can see that tech is not all smooth as you see on Twitter. Like, oh, I got a job of 7 digits, yay! And you're like, damn, I'm going to go and learn front end development. There is money there. Oh, okay. It's not as smooth as you think. Like, it can be that difficult with rejection mails and stuff. Okay, so we move to Hafsah. I think you want to hear Hafsah's story. Like, the story is quite strange. I'll let her say it herself. So, Hafsah, yeah, okay, I think.
What story? What story are you talking about?
Okay, so the question right now is that job exactly. Give us an extended gist. Like, what did you do before that time? Before you saw the opening and you applied and you know.
Well, okay. So basically the normal learning route. Okay, it's not really learning normal one. But okay, my process was before getting a job was um trying to upskill as much as I was also applying. Like just ensuring that when I apply at some point and they check my work, it won't be, I won't be ready to meet them or something like that. Most of it was learning and building personal projects, showing friends and other people around me, like for review and stuff. And um, let's see, I was also applying, but honestly, I was just applying
For
I
the
wasn't
sake of
applying
it.
too much. Yes, you get something like that. So, okay, I see the requirements. I think I can make this. Let me apply and see. And then I may get to interview stage and just, well,
Ghost. Well,
no, there are different things. Sometimes, sometimes, no, there are sometimes where I just checking out of the interview phase. Okay, I have an interview, and honestly, I'll just not attend it or something because I was just scared, am I ready or not? And the other times when I would actually interview and well receive a rejection mail. So yeah. But I think the best thing is to right, yeah, it's good to apply and all that, but you should also learn. So when that opportunity comes, you'll be able to take it. It's not that you just go and fumble there. Okay, let's say you do that interview and you get in, then miraculously getting actually, then you cannot even like prove why you're there because normally, yeah, you learn on the job. But what if you've not even learned anything at all? Because some people is just they can prove things with mouth, and show you something that they copied from tutorial. But now you're on the job. Are you someone that can easily learn and like
Like I work
Well,
under
do the
pressure.
job. Yes, not even pressure. No, I'm not talking. I don't want anybody to try to work under pressure. That thing is not easy. But yeah, be able to. I think you should learn and just get ready for what you're going to face in the office, in the workplace. Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, when you applied for the job and you saw the rejection mail, you're like, well, I was not really expecting much. And all of a sudden,
That's why I
oh, well,
replied. Did you get? That's why I replied because I wasn't expect. I was expecting the rejection, but I was like, "Thank you." At least you even reply because some people will ghost you. So, like, thank you for
okay,
acknowledging
you
my
replied
email.
a rejection mail.
Yeah, actually.
Wow. Wow. Okay, well, you can take that to, just keep that in case. Reply rejection mail so that you can't say you can be part of the lucky ones. Wow. So you
Oh
replied
wow, maybe
rejection
now.
mail.
Well, see, that one was I was expecting it to be like, okay, thank you for replying. I appreciate. That's all.
Wow. And the story changed. That seems more like a miracle. Well, miracles do happen, Sha. Okay, well, we've had the story of how each of them got the jobs and stuff. And well, there is no fixed lesson anywhere. As people say, no two lives are actually the same. But you should take one or two, try replying rejection emails. I mean, I've never had that before, but you should try it sometimes. It could work for you. Put your work out there. Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Dribble, excuse me, Behance too. Just put your work out there and let people see it. And yes, be ready for rejection mails. That should be put out there too. No, no. Whatever story you see on Twitter that is talking about 7 digits, 8 digits. Well, there is a back end to it. You understand? There is a rejection part. Where there will be a lock. There will be locking ones like Akin. Akin didn't get to. He didn't mention about the rejection before the first job, and I would like my life to be that smooth. But be ready for it. Not everybody is going to be the lucky ones. Understand? Okay. So I'm going to ask you right now. Let me start with Hafsah because maybe our story is kind of different. How was the interaction with HR? You know, apart from, as I said, you could actually apply for a job, feeling confident when applying from the first phase. And the interview stage, you just chicken out. You're like, okay, well, was I the one that applied for this job? Like, I mean, and you face the HR maybe in virtual interview, and they're asking questions, and you're like, am I really a developer? How did you handle that pressure? Should I call it pressure? I think pressure is the best word. How did you handle that pressure? What did you do? Can you just give us?
Well, um, I think I just took it as a change because normal interview questions tell me about yourself and maybe show us some work you've done. So when I answered those, I also just went. Also, it also helped that the interviewers were actually very nice and accommodating. So whenever I felt maybe there was lack of maybe I didn't know what to say or like I was just trying to gather my thoughts, they were also willing to help and were patient throughout. So they also helped, like they helped the whole process for me because yeah, I showed them, they asked some questions and I answered. And then there are some that, I'll be trying to, it's somewhere there, but you can't recall at the moment. And they gave the technical interviewer that was also there, gave a hint. And yeah, they were helpful and the process was smooth. So yeah.
Uh, that's 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 very nice. You couldn't wish better than for a nice interviewer. There was one I attended few times, and well, pressure. Some are not nice, some are quite nice. They just make you feel at home. They give you the icebreaker from the anxiety you're bringing into the interview. So let me ask Alison, how did you handle HR, especially with your constant relationship with rejection mails? Like when the first one, when they maybe mail to the interview phase came in. How did you react? How did you, tell us?
Funny enough, my current job interview was, I think, one of the smoothest that I've had. That it was the three-stage interview. The first one was a practical demonstration of your work, so you have to like design in real time and stuff. So there was no pressure because, well, there was. I don't like people watching me design, so that was just it. But that kind of made me feel comfortable. Like just do your thing. You don't feel like you're on the spot and stuff. And I feel
Yo,
like the interviewer has a lot of role to play. 'Cause some people just so cold and strict rigid, and it kind of makes the candidates really nervous. So you can't control how your interviewer is going to react. If they're nice, that's a plus. But if they are not, just keep your cool. Just just try to like be calm because you might be really good, you might know the answers, but because you're so nervous, you just not say something important or say something you're not supposed to say, or if you start to show that you're nervous, it's kind of like a red flag. Why you they'll just sense that you're nervous, and it might not be really good for your consideration and stuff because you'll be interacting with more people in the team, so they need to know that you're confident in yourself and your work and you're not intimidated by them or anything of that sort. So you just do your thing. If it works out, fine. If it doesn't, just move on.
yeah, well, for sure. Well, rejection mail is a constant thing. It's the job that makes it. It's the one that you move on that makes it special. So thank you, Alison. It was, you know, talking about HR, they can be quite not nice. So when you get a very nice interviewer, it's like a big blessing. Just help you cool down the pressure. And well, advice to you: don't pressure yourself. As they have said, don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's There are only two ways to it. You either get it or you don't. So don't put too much. Just do your thing. Yes, there's this question that I really want to ask them, whether based on your first job or your present job. The answers to your questions were they the ones you copied from Google? This. Why are you fit for this role? Do you think our company blah blah blah? And you're like, well, when you go to Google, you see those fixed questions like, I am the perfect man for the job and I can work on, those big grammar that people reply with. So, Aki, you go first on this question. How you're answering your interaction with HR? Those answers were they from you, from Google? What do you advise?
All right. Yeah. So the way it works for me is I believe in speaking to people who have interviewed a lot with people, right? Who have gone through more interview processes, right? And I can remember I was preparing for an interview sometime in August last year, July, August. And yeah, maybe I never really talked about my tough time, right? But I had tough time a lot. When I left my job in December 2020 and I started freelancing in 2021, it was good up until June. And June, July, August were crazy for me, right? And I really wanted to get back into, the monthly stuff at that point, and it wasn't coming through. So I went for an interview, which was really, really good. I got through all the first, second, third stage until the last stage, and it was majorly a culture interview. Like I passed all the technicals and all those things. So we're just three at that stage. And I prior that interview, I had spoken with people who had experience, who had gone through a lot of interviews and all, and I learned from what they've said. And one thing that always checks for me is authenticity. As much as I learned from those people, I stay real with everything I said. If you ask me, can you work under pressure? I will tell you no. Don't pressure me. I can't work under pressure. If you need it quickly, tell me quickly. Don't tell me when it's very close. So I answered them honestly, and I believe everyone should answer those questions honestly, because trust me, they will come for you by the time you get that job. Getting a job at some point to me now, it feels like one of the easiest parts. Actually doing the job and doing it the way you've promised to do it during your interview is one of the hardest parts. You feel like when you get the job, you feel like you are responsible. You feel like you don't want to mess up, right? You don't want to do stuff um that will spoil your own reputation and all these things. And you don't want to under deliver, you want to over deliver. So don't over promise them, right? Stay within what you can do. So I believe in saying the truth. Be very authentic, whatever you say. I mean, I know you are dying to get the job. Because trust me, I was dying to get the job that time and I didn't get it. But I didn't die also. And that was one of the surest thing. You won't die if you don't get the job. So like, okay, no shit. When I didn't get the job and I moved on, about 2 days after I got rejected, I got a what's it called? I got a DM and it was a gig which was paying me in seven figures, comfortable seven figures. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, good. And it was like that throughout the rest of the year, right? So it wasn't, if I had maybe said some cooked up Google lies on the call and I had gotten the job, I might not have the peace of mind I enjoyed throughout last year because I might just be struggling, right? So, but I said the truth and they didn't see me as fit. And you shouldn't be sorry about that for no reason. So, yeah, I think that's how I go about HR questions and all. They can very, very tricky, but just say the truth the way you understand it. Since I don't understand, I'll say, sorry, I do not understand that. Sorry, I don't have that experience. Trust me, they are not looking for you to be 100% also. They are looking for you to be real as possible. And if your realness matches what they are looking for, then it's a good fit. And trust me, I have had to go through interviews where I never spoke to the HR about culture and shit. They only did vibe check. I never needed something like that. There's vibe check that you just speak to someone and they try to crack a joke or they intend the pun in a text, and if you don't get it, you don't get it. It means you don't fit. So
Forget about
it's
it
that
then.
easy. Interviews have different way, different approaches. But whatever it is, just stay real because keeping the job is a fucking real ghetto. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, well, thank you, Akin. As I said, it's not fixed. There are different, ways, faces to it. No two companies usually have the same processes. So be real to yourself. Be honest. Don't answer with cooked up questions because, as I said, it's going to haunt you later. The moment you overpromise and you start having issues in the company to spoil your help, your connection, relationship with people. So in whatever interviews you attend, just be real, answer based on your person. Don't cook up things you can't do. Yeah, don't cook up. Just answer it that way. Okay, so I'll be pushing this question to Alison next. Yeah, from people that registered, someone asked that he wants to move from a non-tech job to a tech job. What what would you advise? I think like 90% of students right now either studying biochemistry, microbiology, courses that I won't say don't matter for like streaming sake, but well, in Nigeria, that's been very, very difficult. So making that transition, what advices or would you have from your own experience?
Okay. Now, first, you need to know what this tech job you're going into entails because full stack developer sounds nice, product manager sounds nice. If you don't know what is inside, don't get so that it's not bite you. After
Hmm.
you've like gotten a not detailed or brief scope of what this thing entails, then you start to look at how this role applies. I'm saying this because there are some tech roles that are not very popular. So design UI designers, website, mobile applications, web apps, stuff like that. But there are some that are less spoken about, the cloud engineers and all of that. So you need to know what is inside first. and then you need to look at people that are doing this thing and where they work. It's something you can do, something to keep up with. Uh, then you might decide to be self-taught, just like get a basic idea before you get like an internship, or you might decide to apply to an academy or a school to learn it. This all depends on what you're doing now. If you're in school now and you have like basically you have like commitments and you can't leave to focus on the job full time, you're looking for something that will give you flexibility, maybe take a part-time course or just watch YouTube videos and just like learn stuff. But an internship is a very good way to start because you are allowed to mess up as an intern, and that's how you learn. So if you're taking a job that you are not very grounded in, don't take a junior role, don't take a full time role, don't start with an internship where somebody is holding your hand and you're allowed to mess up because that's how you learn. So yeah, that's it for me.
Ah, okay, so Hafsah, same question to you. What you know, what advice do you give for someone moving from non-tech to a tech job? Someone transitioning.
Well, I think the most important thing is to just know that it's not all rosy and it's not going to be an overnight thing. So give yourself the time to learn and make mistakes. I think that's very important because while we're seeing so many people share their success stories, we know that it's not easy and we didn't see those days when they were struggling and learning. So when you're moving from a non-traditional tech role, the best thing for you is to just understand that there's a process and learn. Just learn, give yourself because one day you basically start from an internship role, then you start to climb up the ladder and then you start telling your own stories. Re- Remembering that you also have like you know that you also have those tough days that you went through. So it's only like normal that you should understand people didn't just wake up one morning and land into the tech roles that are paying them 6, 7 figures. So yeah, just don't pressure yourself too much. Learn, be disciplined, but yeah, don't put so much pressure on yourself.
Uh, oh, thank you, Hafsah. Yeah, as I said, there's a learning curve. Don't rush it. Yeah, we know there's initial adrenaline rush from people's experience of making it from tech, and you want to jump into it. But as Alison said, study everything that entails what you want to go into. Don't jump into it. And as Hafsah added, as a learning curve, no matter what, nobody just started tech role all of a sudden and just got themselves that dream job. No, there was a learning curve. So take it steadily. Don't rush yourself. Give your time space to learn. And it's even good because when the opportunity comes, it won't backfire. It won't be as if you are just there hoping for a tech job, and when the job comes, you don't know it. So I hope we have noting this down. Now, this question I want to put it to three of our panelists. If you're an HR personnel, yeah, I think that's a funny place to be, especially for your role right now. What shows what attributes would be more important to you through the hiring process of maybe designers, developers, or managers? What will you take cognizance of, especially for entry level, people? Alison, you.
Okay, so this is funny because I was talking to somebody about this like 2 days ago. As a designer, you need to learn to take feedback. It's very important because you are emotionally attached to your design by default. When you put something on the board, you believe that that's the best that you can do and that's the best that there is. So when someone is trying to tell you that this thing they are doing is rubbish or there's a better way to do it, it is natural for you to want to defend your work, which is right. Yeah, you should defend your work, you should explain your thought process, but you need to listen and hear this person. Okay, just look at your design from like fresh eyes, like different perspective. The person that is giving you this advice might not be a designer, you get, and they might not know what it is that you know. But as much as you want to defend your design, explain your thought process, you need to be able to listen and take feedback. That's like very important. Many designers don't have that, and that's something I really be looking out for if I was hiring for a new role, for a junior role rather.
Oh, thank you. So now you see, not no HR personnel are different. So we won't say this is what your interviewer will take important, but at least you can just add it to your knowledge bank. Listen, be ready to take feedbacks. You don't know it all. People know the difference in humans is seeing different perspectives. So listen, as Alison said, listen, be ready to listen, be ready to take feedback so that you can get the job. So Akin, what will be your most important attribute in taking an entry level job?
All right. So trust me, I've been in a position to hire entry level before when I
Wow.
was at the studio as the art director. So one thing I look for is not your skill. I don't look out for your skill. I just want you to have experience of maybe the software. Maybe you can move a few things around on the software, and
Mm.
that is enough. For me, what I look for is character, is vibe, is your ability to your social skills actually. Like, how do you get along with people? What is your character to work? And how fun are you? I'm not a very fun person, right? But I like to have fun people around me. So trust me, entry level, I do not look out for their competence a lot because they are not coming in on the job to handle the big tasks. They are coming in to support, to learn, to do all those things, right? So, but I think people are not really looking for entry level these days. And people that are looking for entry level are just saying entry level because of the pay range, because they want to pay lesser, right? But when they are checking you, when they are assessing you, they are assessing you as if you already know your stuff when you don't. And so I think it's a very, very wrong way, but it doesn't change that that's what's happening. So I would always just check for personality and attitude to work and vibe and yeah, basically that. So I'm not so concerned about their skills and all like so that's how I would handle it if I was the HR hiring an entry level, um designer or employee somehow.
Oh, thank you, Akin. Well, can see that you said what to be concerned about is social skills because as well as an entry level employee, there is the general knowledge that you might not know much about that what you want to do exactly. So the emphasis the emphasis on might not because these days put yourself in the shoes of a founder. You want to start I don't know a startup. You don't want to take mediocre, employees. So it might be really hard for new startups to take up entry level, but those ones that take, they might not really base their, you know, what the attribute they really want on your skills entirely, but on your social skills because you're working with a team. Communication, you're able to be like vibe with other people, as you said, vibe to other people. And communication is a very, very important skill. So I hope you are noting this. And well, we are coming closer to the end of this, and I just have a few, sorry, a few questions right now for Afsa. What do you think startups can do or companies can do for entry level employees? Because there is everybody saying going to tech, like going to tech now is the mantra, just like study medicine, law, and engineering was the mantra you know, in our parents' day. So what do you think startups can do? We understand that they are trying to get the best for their company. But for people that are just coming in, what can they do? Maybe it's internship. What do you think they should do?
All right. So yeah, you mentioned startups, meaning that we should the focus is there, right? And most
Yeah.
startups, they they're trying to ship their product. They're trying to build. Most of them, many don't even like they don't have that range to have to just have so many juniors or interns. So what I think they can do is, yeah, you have seniors, you have mid level, but you should also take entry level candidates who these seniors and mid level will also teach and supervise, because by doing this, they will learn. And at some point, at some point when the senior decides that they want to leave, this person would have learned enough to fill up that role, or not even the senior role, but at least to do stuff without that supervision anymore. So startups should be open to hiring younger ones. I'm not just saying that the entry you should fill up your workforce with entry level, but create something. Yeah, maybe 70-30. You have your senior, you have mid level, then maybe just some entry level, because it's the same people that will start complaining that there is scarcity of senior or mid level. But what are you doing to actually get people there? What are you doing to make this entry level candidates that are around? What are you doing to make them become mid level, to get into mid-level position. So you should just like startups should be willing to hire different level of people, and not just for like entry level because you want to pay them low, but entry level because you are interested in their own growth personally and for your company. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Hafsah. So, Alison, yeah, the question to you too. What do you think startups should do more? Companies, because every year students graduate and at least let's just say 50%, not to exaggerate, are moving into tech. There is development, there is project management, there is design and stuff like that. What is it startups to do? We understand that they don't you don't want to invest too much in growing, entry level jobs. But what do you think they can do more to just encourage people to go more into tech?
Okay, so as a CEO of a startup, it's not your job to encourage people to go into tech. It's your job to grow your business and make money. However, it's important that people that are working with you are growing as well. So I have a boss that I work with on a contract basis, that he's always tagging me on design tips, all these posts people make, YouTube videos, send me videos on some stuff that I share that I have maybe challenges with. He's always tagging me on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And it's not the content that makes me happy, it's the intent. Like, this person is conscious about my personal development as a designer. This person is conscious of the fact that um I don't know everything, and there's some things that I can learn from. Even some things that I already know, but he just feels like, yeah, this is something you should know. It'd be nice for you to know this. I want you to know this. So it's just really encouraging that somebody is interested in my personal development as a designer. It's very encouraging. The thought is just it's the thought that counts. It just it just makes me people don't really care. Just get the job done. And if you don't get the job done, it means that you're not good and stuff like that. So just encourage many sometimes creative block is a thing. So there are weeks where I will show you mad content. There are weeks where I'm not even in the mood. But you
I
just
don't
need
know
to
what you are doing here.
like I've had creative block for like 2 weeks straight. And if I tell you how I overcame that creative block, you'll be laughing. It's one very weird thought process came to my head, and I thought to people about it. But you need to know that creatives have their own way of their experience comes differently. So just let them know that you value them as a person, as designers, and once they feel appreciated, they would want to offer more.
Mm.
So if I see that this guy doesn't care about me, I'm just doing the bare minimum. But I want to put in extra when I see that this person hired my designer and he has like genuine interest. You get, so just show them that you care. Basically, you might not be able to pay for them to take courses, but if you do find free resources, just share with them. It's not going to take anything from you. This is assuming that you don't have a creative mind to hold their hand, because it's even wrong to hire interns or junior designers without a senior person to hold their hand. But if you don't have this, just make sure that you are helping them develop as designers, basically.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, wow. 1 hour already. That's wow. That really flew past. So thank you so much. I think everybody that joined us, you read what they have said. We can't capture the advices you need in this webinar, but I'm sure you picked one or two things. There's the part where you have to be human, you have to be honest, you must respect the learning curve. You can't jump into success. You don't jump into success like that. And be ready to socialize. Take your work out. People should know you. People should know what you can do. And be confident too. And also public announcements. Be ready for ejection mails, except you have the confidence that you're part of the lucky ones, which I can't guarantee. Be ready. Be ready for ejection mails. They will come in as fast as 15 minutes after you have applied. So be ready for it. And well, tech is a nice place. I don't want to put the hype to it. Yes, though there is, yeah, maybe some people call it oil money. I don't know. But it's a nice place to be. If you own your skills, you know, you can have a settled income just from tech alone. I hope you have noted all these advices, and I want to thank our panelists. I want to thank Hafsah. I want to thank Akin. I want to thank Alison for their time. Really, we really learned. I'm actually happy because the story is very, very different. So it was easy to learn from their experiences and to learn a new thing. Don't give up. From Hafsah's story, don't give up. Reply rejection mail sometimes. And from Akin, you can really be lucky. Put yourself outside. People will reach out to you. And Alison, yeah, rejection may will come, but don't give up. Just keep pushing, and there's the learning curve too. Just keep pushing, just keep learning. And listen, be ready for feedbacks. You don't know it all. There are people that have gone ahead of you. Even there are people that they don't do exactly what you do, but they have different perspectives to how you do it. So be ready for that too. Yeah. And I hope you enjoy success when you enter tech. So thank you very much. Thank you for coming, everyone. We'll be ending the stream now. Thank you and have a nice day.